Hey everybody, welcome to our podcast today. I'm gonna lead today. You know me as Liz. So today we're gonna talk about sports. Fun topic. There's only four of us because only four of us are cool enough to watch sports, so that's fun. Uh yeah. So I'll go first. My favorite sports team is the Chiefs. I mainly just watch football and I watch some baseball because I used to live in Boston, so I used to go to a lot of baseball games. But other than that, I don't really watch sports. And the only sport I ever played was volleyball in high school, which I also really enjoy watching, like during the Olympics. But Fabian, go for it.
Me? All right.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone. My favorite NFL team is Dallas Cowboys, and that's all. Yeah,
Boo, they're cowgirls.
that's all I really watch.
Cowgirls.
Just that NFL team, Dallas Cowboys, and
I guess I'm next.
yeah.
I haven't been on a podcast in a hell of a while. But I'm
Welcome,
back.
Graham.
Go for it.
It's been a while. So I have two different teams. I watch baseball and football, and my football team is the Las Vegas Raiders, even though our quarterback got sacked multiple times throughout the entire damn season.
Oof.
And
And
we
they
just
hired-
signed shitty coaching too.
Hooray.
A shitty head coach, a shitty defensive. It was a defensive coach. No, general manager, not a defensive coach.
And now they're going to get
I
a
think
shitty
I
special
read a
teams
report we're
coordinator.
supposed to sign Joe Judge soon, which is
And Joe
Yay.
Judge absolutely freaking sucks, especially as a head coach.
Well, big struggle bus there.
for baseball. I'm a San Francisco Giants fan, and funny enough, both their seasons ended in bad terms, like bad ways. Giants ended on a bad check swing, and then the Raiders ended on just bad calls throughout their postseason game. And then
I feel like everybody whose team loses always says it was bad calls.
yeah,
Literally every time.
So now I think we'll move on to Nathan, which he's a new member cast here.
Yeah, I've never actually been on a podcast before, so this is my first time joining.
Welcome, Nathan.
Welcome.
Yep.
All right. Let me talk about my favorite teams. So for football, I mainly like watching NFL football because I'm not really the biggest fan of college football at all. Even though I watch college football,
honestly.
College
football is one of those where it's like everybody else is just into it, but I'm one of those too.
Yeah.
That you don't watch it?
No, I don't.
Oh, yeah, me either.
As far as NFL teams goes, my favorite team's the New York Giants, which they haven't really been good in years because of bad personnel decisions, bunch of bad drafts, all that kind of stuff. And this past season was especially bad because we didn't have an offensive line to where the offense could really score points. There was one stretch of the season where we didn't have a wide receiver touchdown within an 11-week span. And we've had some of the worst play calling I've ever seen on the field. Take that quarterback
sneak on 3rd and 9 on your own 4-yard line.
4-yard line.
Big oof.
Yeah, that's some dumb shit right there. Not gonna lie. And then after the Chicago Bears game where we got our asses handed out to us, Joe Judge went on this 11-minute tirade about shooting at other teams like Washington, saying that we're not some clown show organization. No. And just started saying a whole bunch of things that didn't really make any sense. And he got fired for that. Which hallelujah for that, because that clown is
I want to
finally
go back
gone
at
from the
some
organization.
point. I want to go back at some point to my NFL team. We had a lot happen to us, so at some point I want to go back to that.
I'm gonna start talking about some basketball now. I don't for basketball. I'm actually the opposite. I mainly like watching college basketball rather than college. NBA basketball. Sorry. For my favorite college basketball team is obviously University of Kentucky basketball, which in short is UK basketball.
Obviously.
Yeah, because that's the school I go to.
Oh, I didn't know.
They've had consistently good teams over the years.
Well,
So, all right, go ahead, Liz.
Basketball, but that's fine.
You were gonna say something, or was that it?
No, that was it.
Oh, okay. All right. I want to go back to my football team. So during week 6, I think it was sometime around week 6, they lost John Gruden, their head coach. Bunch of emails got leaked from like racial emails, and then in week 8, after our bye week, we lost our best wide receiver, and so it was just a downfall from there. We lost like 5 straight games, but then towards the end of the season, rather, Raiders just got into second gear basically and just went back to work, and somehow made it just to barely to the wild card, if you ask me. But they won like maybe 4 or 5 straight games towards the end of the season.
I
And
think
the
it was
last
4.
regular. Wait, go ahead. It
was 4 games, I believe.
Okay. And was it week 18?
Yeah, week 18, the Chargers game.
Chargers game, yeah. Holy cow, that game was absolutely insane.
That was nuts.
Yeah.
Like, me and my dad were watching it, and I was just so mentally invested into that game that I went to work and I was just drained. I didn't have a work day, but I just went to go check my schedule. I was just absolutely drained after that game because I was mentally invested in that.
To be honest, I actually kind of felt the same way watching that game because you didn't know what was going to happen next. Because honestly, I thought that game was going to end in a tie.
At least a 2-touchdown lead, though. And as typical Raider fashion, we just kept giving up first downs and everything. But we've made it.
In all honesty, I honestly thought that game was going to end in a tie, but the Chargers head coach was being stupid and called a timeout, and that changed up the Raiders' game plan. And they kicked the field goal to win it.
Daniel Carlson, dude. That's why we signed him for 4 years.
Well, I mean, I thought the Raiders were not like a bad team. I think they really put up a fight against ours, which I think it's funny because both of our teams are in the same like little block. What's it called?
It's called a division.
Yeah.
Mine and Fabian's teams are in the same division too. And my team got beat up by them both times because my team is such ass.
Except we and our team actually won against theirs because of Daniel Carlson.
Oof.
And my team won against
and even Fabian remembers that too.
Yeah.
Oh, he was really angry after that game.
Tell him how you felt after that game.
Oh, dude, come on.
You want a raging fit?
Come on, tell him how you felt after that Thanksgiving game.
Dude, that game was fucking intense. I mean,
yeah, that was a good game. I was originally working on Thanksgiving, which is bullshit. I should not be working on Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving Day, mind you. And so then I got asked if I wanted to go home early, and I said yes. Then I ended up watching the game, which I thought was going to be a blow up by Dallas, and turns out not.
Yeah, y'all were lucky with that overtime match. That was
fucking insane. I would see the Cowgirls lose that game.
Hey, the Cowboys. And you know
and I was really happy to see them lose the wild card round too.
Oh, fuck out of here.
You could thank Dak for that.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, Liz.
Come on.
Chiefs and Raiders, I thought, were both going to be really good matches, but Chiefs, I think, had a better advantage when I think you really look at it.
Well, I mean, I'm partial to the Chiefs, so I can't really make a unbiased opinion, but like I thought that they were good games. Like I thought the Raiders put up a pretty good fight. But I also watched every other team go up against the Chiefs all season. So in comparison to a lot of other teams, they did pretty good, I thought. But I mean, Anybody's better than going against Sentinel.
Except the second game was just garbage. 40-something to 9, like a 48-9 blowout.
I mean, it went great for us.
Yay. Yeah, good for you.
I
Rub
remember
it in.
one
Go
really
ahead and rub it in. I'm just kidding.
I remember one really trouble game that my team had against Atlanta where they were on the 38-yard line. 39-yard line. Sorry about that. Atlanta's 39-yard line. It was a 4th-and-3 situation. They could have went for it or gone for a field goal, but they didn't do any of that. Instead, they decided to punt it for some freaking reason.
Sure do be like that sometimes.
You could thank the judge for that because he's an overly conservative play caller.
We'll say during the AFC Championship, the Bengals. So it was the Bengals versus Chiefs game, and the Bengals made a lot of like really ballsy moves. Like they went for it on 4th down a lot, and like not super close to like the touchdown line, like the end zone. It was like pretty much all the way on their side. They were still doing go ahead on 4th down. So I will commend them for doing ballsy things. However, I'm mad because we're not in the Super Bowl. So
They didn't really go for it on 4th down in that game from looking at it, but they made a lot of really good 3rd down plays.
They went for it. They went for it like 5 times.
No, after reading this, it says 0 for 0 on 4th down.
Well, that's not true. I watched it. They definitely went for it like multiple times because I remember being like, "Wow, that's ballsy." Okay, and the announcer also, he was like, "They're gonna make a lot of like really ballsy moves like this."
Yeah, like I remember that Buffalo game. You guys like tied that game within 13 seconds. Then the Cincinnati game in overtime. Patrick Mahomes threw a pick within 13 seconds.
Yeah, we won't talk about that.
The Raiders game kind of came close, but there was one call where Burrow throws the ball into the end zone, and then the whistle blew before the guy even caught it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they shouldn't have
So
blown the whistle there at
controversial.
all.
I think it had a lot of people really pissed off at that.
Yeah.
Now they're in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Dead on my life. Thanks, Joe.
Looking like Joe
Thanks,
Burrow's going to be the next Tom Brady.
Can we just talk about the fact that the did you guys see the penalty that they gave Tyreek Hill after that game when he put up the peace sign? That was epic, and there's no way that that's taunting. He just put a peace sign up. It's not like he was like
that was taunting.
He got a pretty hefty
peace sign is taunting.
Yeah, they called him on taunting, and they fined him like $10,000.
Okay, that's bullshit.
Yeah, I know. I was like, there's no way that's taunting. And they fined him after the game. Like, they did not call that.
I think there was one taunting call. This was just in the regular season. It was a Bears game, and I forgot who they were playing against, but I watched the highlights, and there were so many penalties in that game. Bears and Steelers. Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that game, honest. I'm not a fan of either of those teams.
There were so many penalties in that, including that one taunting call, which I don't remember what happened, but
I honestly felt bad for the Bears that game because they kept on getting a lot of unnecessary penalties on them, and then Pittsburgh, they were like roughhousing Chicago and everything, and they didn't get any penalties at all, really. So that game was honestly kind of rigged. And my dad really hates the Steelers, too.
So his team's in the Super Bowl. He's a Bengals fan, isn't he?
Yeah. And he's really happy because... And he honestly started crying after the Chiefs game. Because it's been so long since we've last went to a Super Bowl.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy for the Bengals, and I think that they deserve it. I mean, they obviously played really well, but I'm still a little salty because I wanted us to be in there. So
you have had 3 straight appearances.
I know. I'm
2020,
still salty.
2021,
no, it was 2
and
straight.
then a possible.
It was 2 appearances.
No. No, they were in.
They were in
2020 Super Bowl,
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then 2021.
54, and then they
It's
were
been-
in 55 last year.
yeah.
Yeah, it is 2.
And then this one, if they did make it, would be 3.
Would have been 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. But they
But the
didn't.
Bengals came back.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to talk about it.
If the Bengals win the Super Bowl, then it would be their first ring.
I mean, that's good for them.
Joe
I wish we-
Shiesty
Hopefully, I
needs
can watch Super Bowl.
I'm actually going to a Super Bowl party on Sunday with the BCM.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, is that
Who are
your
y'all going for that
that's
Super Bowl?
your group, Nathan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds
Hopefully,
like
I could
everybody's
work.
coming
I mean,
downstairs to my house. So I'm going to
hopefully,
move.
I could watch Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I've been scheduled to work at 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., but I hope not.
Who
Yeah,
y'all
but-
going for? I'm going for the Rams.
I'm
I
actually
don't really care. I've been summoned to cook food there, so at a Super Bowl party. So this is why I'm trying to go and watch it.
I was gonna say you could put it on your phone while you're working.
They'd probably kill me for that.
Well,
Oh, damn.
aren't you job anyway?
You know what's kind of bullshit is
What?
most stores are
What?
probably going to be empty because everybody's already done their shopping for Super Bowl anyways.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's
gonna be
true.
a lot of stocking.
So why am I scheduled to work 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. when the whole store is going to be empty and dead?
Right. So that's why you could just put it on your phone. Put like ear pods in and do it.
Yeah, pretty much.
At the restaurant I work at, Raising Cane's, they're closing at 6:00, so all their employees can watch the Super Bowl.
Well, I think a restaurant's
Lucky.
different. A lot of people will come in and watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah, like bars,
Wow.
sit-down restaurants.
Wow. So you're bleh, excuse me. So your workplace is actually generous for you guys. They actually want to be fair for you guys and let you watch it.
Yeah, even though I'm not scheduled to work that day.
Well, my
Well-
store doesn't do that. That's such bullshit.
Oh.
I work at a grocery store, so I mean, go figure, but still. The store's going to be empty at close to maybe when the game starts.
Just call out.
Hell yeah. I'm trying to work a closing shift. Like
Aren't you?
our
aren't
our
you going
store
to-
closes at midnight. The one that
You're
I
going-
work at, I'm trying to get hired at a different one soon. But the
Oh,
one that
so
I work at closes at midnight. And
you're going to a whole different company. Just don't show up. Nobody. No matter.
well, I'm
There
still
anyway.
getting my stuff processed through hiring at the other store.
So you kind of have to show up.
Yeah, until I might just put in my 2 weeks soon. Anyway, I want to switch the topics. What else should we talk about sports wise? I wanted to talk about baseball.
Yeah.
Or we could talk about embarrassing moments from the season. I guess we kind of already talked about it, but still. Because
I.
my team's had a lot of embarrassing moments this season.
Oof.
I think we could probably go over
Yeah.
some more embarrassing shit.
Good. Yeah.
I remember the freaking week 1 game against Denver. Like, Denver scored a touchdown, and usually they're supposed to do a booth review, but our dumbass head coach decided to challenge a scoring play, which you're not allowed to do. And guess what? It ended up being a touchdown anyways. And they lost the timeout over it.
Well.
That is
Yeah,
kind
damn.
of- Let's see. Anything embarrassing from my team? I'm trying to think of what the heck was embarrassing for the Raiders.
Do we want to talk about the 9 sacks that happened on the Bengals during their playoff game?
Yeah, and they still
Wait,
won anyway.
so that's what he
They
was
still won
talking
anyways.
about.
No, that's not
That's
really
what he was
embarrassing.
talking
No.
about earlier.
That is embarrassing.
It's
9.
embarrassing, but
So before we started recording, Nathan mentioned 9 sacks, and
and they
that
still
was
won
that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
It was,
Tennessee game, they still won.
Holy
They-
shit.
yeah, I know.
Yep.
Joe Burrow's a monster, dude.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Carr got sacked 9 times. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you usually lose those games.
I thought that Chiefs game, the second Chiefs game, was worse because he got sacked like 4 times in the first quarter.
No, during the Joe Burrow's first playoff game, he got sacked 9 times. But
Yeah.
that's not
Damn.
No,
that
that
it's
was
his
his second playoff game.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yep, second playoff game.
The Raiders, he only got sacked 2 times.
Ooh, dang.
And against the
Yeah,
Chiefs,
so
he only got sacked 1 time against the Chiefs.
So before we even start recording, Nathan was mentioning this, and I wasn't paying attention. 9 fucking sacks, Jesus Christ, in the playoff game.
And why Tennessee lost is because Ryan Tannehill threw 3 picks,
And he
including
still
one within the last 20 seconds, which
and he
gave the
still won.
Bengals the game.
Somehow he still won. Can
Joe
we also
Burrow
Yeah.
just
fact that
Joe Burrow's overcame a lot when you
almost
really
every
talk about it. Because he got injured really early last season, and now his team's in the Super Bowl. Think
Can we
about that.
fact that
I'd like to talk about. Oh, you want to finish the list? Sorry.
Yeah, every single playoff game, almost every single one was won by a single field goal in the last minute of the game. Every single one.
Except for the games in the wild card round. Some of those were blowouts.
Yeah, but the other
They went Daniel Carlson because they kicked a bunch of they kicked game-winning field goals. Carlson kicked like 4 or 5 of them in the regular season because he kicked the game winner in week 3. It was somewhere around, I'm not sure. I know he kicked the game winner during the Cowgirls game.
Cowgirls.
I know he kicked the game winner during that Browns game. The Raiders beat a practice squad Browns team, by the way. The Browns
They
had
a practice squad.
It was
team.
was it week 15?
I think it was week 14. Yeah, it was week 14.
Oof.
No, it was 15. I remember it was 15.
Let me check.
Well, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, we keep our scores on a scorekeeper chat in our Discord.
Oh,
No, it was 15.
Yeah, it was 15.
So the Browns had at least 20 or something players out due to COVID, including their main quarterback, I think.
Yeah, at home with Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, and so fucking Nathan is mentioned at home with Baker Mayfield.
And there's this meme
oh my
going
God.
around, all these quarterbacks that missed that lost playoff games and crap like that in that column.
So the Browns had a bunch of players gone, and the Raiders barely beat them with a game-winning field kick, and it was such a low-scoring game. They won 16-14. Daniel Carlson, though.
Yeah, no. I remember another embarrassing moment from the Giant season, which there's been a lot of them in week 2. The end of the game, the kicker missed the field goal from Washington, and then this random offsides penalty which none of the players jumped off sides, by the way, and they called the penalty anyways to screw us over, and then Washington won that game.
It's always the team that wants to win that thinks that the call was bullshit.
Bullshit.
When you actually look at it, the player didn't jump off sides at all. He jumped right on time.
Being a ref in those games, because the stuff that we see in slow motion on TV, we can look at it for 20 minutes and be like, nope, he was not over the line. But when they're there in real time, that goes so fast. I don't know how they see.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Such small stuff. It's nuts.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, for real.
I mean, my team
Like, they
deserves to
call
have a losing
holding and all
record.
that,
Still.
and sometimes I look at the replay and I can't even tell where the holding is.
Yeah.
Yeah, like-
Or you can kind of see it clearly, and you can kind of see the player they called it on, and you can either see that there was a hold or it was a bullshit call, and there was no hold at all.
Well,
Yeah,
I
like-
think
Pretty much what happened to the Raiders often.
well, I think some players are picked on a little bit, and if they're like if the ref has like a vendetta against them, I think that they'll like watch that player specifically more closely and be like, so every time they do anything that's close to off, they're
I remember that Kansas City Chiefs game that the Giants played. Like, we had a lead, but Joe Judge, for some reason, decided to blow all of his timeouts within like the third and early fourth quarter, and we ended up losing that game because of it.
well, sure do be like that sometimes.
I mean, that we actually played you guys pretty close, but I'm just so glad
Did
Joe
you
Judge
get to
is gone.
Did you get to watch any games at work, Nathan, or do you have a TV there?
I've got to watch some games.
Oh, okay.
No.
You know what? They should have a TV in your room where you cook, like in the kitchen.
When the Giants season really got downhill was after that Philadelphia game, because
How
they
did
got
that
blown up by everybody.
how'd that steak get so burnt? Well, they went to overtime and I got distracted and
Yeah,
it was after Henry Ruggs and the whole car crash when the Raiders started to decline. They lost like 3 games, and then they won the Thanksgiving game. Lost
Wasn't there
another game or two.
wasn't there like a player that like recorded a video and pointed a gun at the camera or something?
Oh, fuck that! Yeah, Damon
Oh.
Arnett. So you sent me this meme, the Raiders and their draft picks. Henry Ruggs, prison. Damon Arnett, cut because of that video. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake. Yeah. So there's one player was sending death threats to some guy on Instagram.
good.
And he got arrested.
They
Got
released
kicked
him.
off the
Yeah.
team.
Yeah, they released him. And then we had another big injury to another guy later on in the season too. And then Rich Bisaccia took over as head coach. And honestly, he should have stayed as head coach. If we could just rebuild our players and everything,
But
it would have honestly.
But no, Mark Davis had to be stupid and get rid of Rich Bisaccia in favor of Josh McDaniels, which he coached Denver for a couple of years, and they sucked with him. That made absolutely no sense, dude. And now they want to hire Joe Judge as their special teams coordinator.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That's going to be terrible because in New England, that they were ranked as one of the worst special teams. And why we hired Joe Judge as a head coach, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Oh, talk about that Kansas City game. He said that they only lost because the headset was broken. He kept talking about it during his interview after that game.
Yeah, but if his headset wasn't broken, then they'd find another way to somehow say that.
Yeah, find another BS thing to talk about. It's
Right.
like, oh no, my players couldn't get rain on time. No.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, Joe Judge was an idiot.
I want to talk about baseball now, if we can, or if anybody wants to talk about baseball.
Yeah, so I used to live in Boston, and my apartment was actually right around the corner from Fenway Stadium. So I went to a lot of actual Sox games when I was in college, which was super fun. But I was there for Big Papi's 500th home run, which was pretty cool.
That was in Tampa, actually, right?
Maybe it was 499th or something like that. It was like
Okay, because I know he hit his 500 when it was in Tampa.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. So I was there for his 499th home run because it was at home. I was actually there. Funny story. I never actually was into baseball until I went to that game. It was against the Blue Jays, and I was on a date with somebody, and it didn't go well. I mean, I never saw him again, but like the game was really fun. And then
That
I
was
started.
good.
Then I started to get into baseball, and I would like stream the games on my laptop while I was studying, and you can hear it in the background, like you can hear the crowd go crazy if something like big happens, because sometimes watching baseball is like watching paint dry. But like when it's a really intense game, it's cool. So I would just like have it on in the background and then pay attention when the crowd went crazy, because I could hear it in the background at my apartment. And then like 5 seconds later, it would happen on the computer because there was like a little bit of a lag there. So that was really cool. But I got into baseball through doing that. But obviously, I'm a Red Sox fan.
So for baseball, I'm a Giants fan. I mentioned it earlier, and I've been to a lot of Giants games over my time, about 10 or so.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Pretty sweet.
yeah. I haven't gone to any playoff ones though, but I did. I've watched a couple. I've watched the recent playoff series where the check swing ended the series against the Dodgers too, who were their
Cool.
biggest rivals. So
Oh,
one of my best times I had was I actually called my shot on a home run once. It was a grand slam. So the player's coming up to bat. I'm like, I'm gonna call it grand slam. Bases are loaded, grand slam. And then first pitch, it's a hanging curve into left center, grand slam.
oh wow. That's cool.
That's cool. I have ticket stubs too, dating back to 2014. My first game was actually in 2011 when I was about like 9. Yeah.
That's cool.
So for me, for baseball, I never really watched baseball all that much, but my dad's a really big Reds fan since obviously he's from Cincinnati, Ohio. And I've actually been to a Reds game back in 2015, I believe, on Father's Day, which was honestly a pretty dark time in my life, not going to lie.
Oh,
Because I was still in middle school, about to go to high school, and that transition was a little crazy. But
rough time.
it was a fun game. And I remember, I think it was against the Marlins that we played. We ended up winning that game.
Oh,
So that's all I really have to say about baseball. I'm more of a football guy, in all honesty.
I definitely enjoy football, like overall, but I think I just liked baseball because I had the opportunity to go more because it's cheaper to go. I would love to go to a football game, but like those tickets are not cheap at all.
I
Dude,
actually
yeah.
went to the I actually went to the Giants Bengals game last season.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
that's sweet, man.
my team only won because Joe Burrow was not playing in the game, and the backup quarterback that they had fumbled the ball, and the Giants recovered, and we won that game.
Oh shit. Wow. That's crazy. My stepdad actually got to go to a Tampa Bay game. I want to say it was the week before playoffs, so that was pretty cool. I was very jealous. He got to see one of Tom Brady's last games.
What?
Yeah, he retired, so
Yeah,
that
yeah. He
right
went to his
before.
last game, basically, or
Huh?
one of them.
Yeah, he went to like the fourth to last game.
Damn.
It was right before the playoffs started. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I haven't had any time to go to any baseball games.
I did get to.
Obviously not because of the virus. I would have loved to go this year.
I did get to go to the like victory parade while I was in Boston. Um, for the Patriots game when they had that big comeback win in the Super Bowl that year.
Oh,
I don't.
against the Falcons.
Yeah, and I got to go to their like victory parade. They do this big parade throughout Boston, and it like they have floats and stuff with the trophy, and Gronk was there dancing like usual, and it was really cool to see. They had like Edelman and Tom Brady when he was a Patriot.
For a second, I thought you were talking about Dave Gettleman, which that's a nightmare too.
No,
He was a
Edelman.
Giants
Gettleman.
fan. Yeah, that's a nightmare too because he was our GM and he was trash.
Oh no, I mean Edelman on the Patriots, the really good player.
Oh, Julian Edelman. That guy's
Yeah,
pretty good.
yeah. Is he still playing or no? I haven't watched any Patriots games
I think he's still playing. Let me look it up.
because I didn't really watch any Patriots games this season, and honestly, I don't really keep up on who is where anymore. So I would like to get into that though, like drafting and shit. But
Oh, he retired.
oh, he did. I thought maybe because he did have a lot of injuries at some point. So I
Oh, I
don't
didn't
blame.
know he retired.
Yeah, he retired
When does it say when?
after the 2020 season.
Okay,
That
so
was when Cam
so
Newton
it's,
went back. Patriots.
so it's season, yeah. That new Patriots quarterback is pretty dang good. I watched him play in the
Mhm.
Pro, and he did pretty dang good. I was very impressed. Mac Jones.
Yeah, he is pretty good. I don't think
Yeah.
he'll beat Tom Brady, but he's still pretty good.
No, I don't. I definitely don't see Tom Brady, but I do think that. So I will never say that Tom Brady is not the best because Tom Brady is definitely hands down the best quarterback of all time. However, I think you'll see that in the coming like decades that the standard of football is going to be a lot different because
Yeah,
uh,
a
new
lot
kids
higher
are
expectations.
all really good, like they wouldn't be coming up if they weren't really good. So you're going to have a lot of Mahomes, a lot of Burrow, a lot of like really good new up and coming comebacks,
Yeah,
quarterbacks that
like Josh
stand-
Yeah, I
Allen, Lamar
agree.
Jackson, Justin Herbert.
yeah, exactly. So the standard is going to go way up because we're going to have all good quarterbacks, like they don't bring a quarterback up and for them to be shit.
Yeah,
So I think the
take Cam
difference
Newton for example.
I think the difference is
Um,
less about quarterback ability and more towards like receivers and stuff and
Yeah,
finding
then
totally.
and
finding new
having good offensive linemen.
yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. Offensive linemen make or break a game because if they keep getting sacked like and then the quarterback gets injured and then they don't have them, so like yeah.
That's what happened to
Um,
Daniel Jones last season.
Oh
who
really?
can
Yeah,
name a good quarterback and wide receiver duo? Obviously, there's Brady
Burrow
and
and
Gronk.
Chase.
Yeah,
Obviously
Burrow and Chase. Mahomes and Kelsey.
obviously Travis Kelce and Mahomes have to be in that conversation.
Allen and Diggs.
Yeah. Yep. Josh Allen, man, he is a good quarterback. Uh,
That guy's a monster.
he's a beast.
Dude,
If they would have won the Chiefs game, then I honestly think they would have won the Super Bowl. In all
Oh,
honesty,
hands down. And I really think, like, I'm a Chiefs fan, and I will say, like, they really did get robbed during that game. They really deserved that. So did we. We all played our
but
heart out. But, like, the fact that they didn't even get a shot in overtime was real bullshit. Like, I feel
like
so bad for the team. They worked
I feel,
hard there.
and it was like, and the Bills usually have a really good defense, and they had the number one ranked defense overall, but they were really bad during that game.
Well, I wouldn't say they were bad. We just were. I mean, they were going up against one of the best offenses in the NFL. So, I mean,
Yeah, they were, but still, like
you could only
compared to
perform.
that first matchup, they played bad
Yeah. Well, anyway,
because they had no clue how to handle Patrick Mahomes or Travis Kelsey or Tyreek Hill.
to be fair, not a lot of people do. That's why we
No,
are unstoppable sometimes. But once you do figure out how to shut us down, I mean,
say
sometimes
the
people.
Bengals. Say the Bengals defense, for example.
Yeah, they figured it out pretty quick. Shut us down in the
Twice.
second. Yeah.
They did it twice.
I think the key to having a good team now is like to have a really good starting amount of plays, and then when they figure us out, be able to switch it up and do other weird plays that they aren't looking to see coming. The issue is we don't have a lot of very diverse teams, so most of the people can do one thing really good, but once people perfect how to defend that one thing, then it's kind of like they don't have a tool anymore.
Yeah, the Raiders used to have a bunch of deep thread, but when they lost Ruggs, obviously it wasn't there anymore.
I am curious to see who the player of the year is this year, because uh you know how they do the best of the year when like the people that do the most public service and stuff.
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh,
That's
yeah, that.
Yeah.
And I also really like watching the comeback player of the year.
yeah, those are all super interesting.
And at the
The,
beginning of the season, everybody thought it was going to be Dak Prescott, but now that we're in the playoffs and everything, it's looking more like Joe Burrow.
but he is only the comeback person because he had to be out last year. Dak Prescott is only a comeback because he was injured. Like that to me is not a comeback. To me, a comeback is like starting as the like underdog and like proving that you're good. But we knew that Dak Prescott was really good, you know?
And Joe Burrow, we didn't really know anything about him.
I want to say Mac Jones is on that list too, like comeback, because I feel like the first couple of games he was on the struggle bus a bit.
Yeah, then
And kind of struggled to find his footing, and I think that a lot of people in the NFL were unsure about like how well he was going to do.
yeah, it was the same thing for Burrow.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the season, he was a little wonky, but once he got things figured out, it just rolled from there.
And I mean the best quarterbacks are like that too. Like Tom Brady had a rough season to start off the first couple of games. They always take a few games to kind of find their footing, and then and then they become unstoppable. But I don't think you could ever name a person that didn't have a bad game, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Besides the Giants' offensive line, that the whole season was just awful.
Yeah. Do you guys watch the Olympics at all?
No,
Nah,
Not
the
really.
Olympics are boring, if you ask me.
the Pro Bowl is really boring too.
I watched the Pro Bowl just because I really find it endearing that all of like I just love to see the sportsmanship. Like so many people come out and like they're the best of the best, but they all treat each other like so kindly, even though they're all on different teams, and like just enjoy being able to play each other when they're not like they can't usually play with each other. They're usually against each other. The skills challenge was
Honestly, I feel that.
Yeah.
I always used to think that in elementary school too, because we used to have like the regular seasons, and then on the off seasons we would play like a rec league, and we got to play with people that usually were our opponents. So it was kind of cool to be able to play with people that like we idolized on other teams too. So I mean it's not comparable obviously to the NFL, but like I feel like maybe that was a lot of it, because a lot of those guys, if you ask one of the like somebody that's famous, like if they fangirl over any other famous people, like they don't feel famous. So I'm sure a lot of people were like, "Oh my God, it's Pat Holmes! I get to play with him."
Yeah, I know my dad's side of the family. Besides me and my dad, obviously, but we're planning on doing this next season with my family. They play this fantasy league where like the more points you score in a game or do this kind of crazy stuff in the game, get all these crazy stats, the more points you get in the game for your league.
Oh, that's cool.
My
It's kind
dad,
of
my
fantasy
dad
league.
plays on a fantasy league, but it's like online with other people.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what my family does.
most people bet money on it though, like a lot of money.
Hashtag gambling.
Yeah,
My
I'm
family
like,
doesn't gamble on it though.
I'm not a gambler, but we could do our own like fantasy league in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
would be
me,
kind
Fabian,
good.
and
That's
Nathan
nice.
actually have an NFL chat and
Yeah.
for other stuff too, but mostly for NFL because we keep track of our scores. We talk about other things like what happened through the game, or we just talk about it on our sports chat. But I keep track actually rather of every single score and post the records. We don't do any
Yep.
pregame stuff. We just keep track of the
Nah.
scores and maybe.
Not even for the playoffs.
No, yeah, playoffs don't count, unfortunately.
I almost want to keep track of stats.
Only regular season.
Yeah.
I kind of
Yeah.
want to keep stats next season and do like predictions and stuff. That would be
that would be pretty cool.
Yep.
And
but
right now, I'm looking at the Giants coaching staff for 2022, which they haven't hired everybody yet, but they've hired a lot of people already. Which our head coach is obviously Brian Daboll from the Buffalo Bills. That guy's done really good things with Josh Allen.
yeah, I mean Josh Allen is also a powerhouse, so you can't.
Yeah, he is a powerhouse.
You can't head coach shit and have it come out sparkling,
Mm-hmm. Which, honestly, if he does really good, it'll finally give me hope again.
There ain't no hope for you, honey.
I hope so. And
Not
our
with the
offensive coordinator, we got the guy from Kansas City,
yeah.
the quarterback's coach. Which
I think
that's a home run right there.
didn't we trade?
I'm looking on an account that posts all about Raiders stuff, like Raiders hirings and everything. Raiders hired former Broncos ST coordinator. What is that?
I
I
don't
think
know that.
ST coordinator.
I think that might be a safety.
Oh, great. I just found out the Packers actually hired Rich Bisaccia to be their
Special
ST
teams.
coordinator. Oh, special teams. Oh.
Yeah, that's what that
Why
means.
the fuck would he be special teams coordinator? Come on.
Has Aaron Rodgers on where he's going yet?
Oh, it's their offensive coordinator, but still.
Are they just
Tom McMahon is special teams coordinator now.
And
good
our
thing it's not
quarterback,
Joe Judge.
Yeah, I hate Joe Judge to death.
Well,
and our quarterback's coach is Shea Tierney. I don't know how to say it, but he was the assistant quarterback coach for the Buffalo Bills.
Everybody's on the comments of hiring Josh McDaniels is like, no McDaniels, keep Bisaccia.
Yeah, I don't blame him because Josh
no?
McDaniels is a bad head coach.
Oh, well, he was the offensive coordinator for the Patriots when Brady was over there, and he did a pretty good job. But also Brady's great, so maybe it was just.
And every time like a team hires a coach from the Patriots to be their head coach, it never works out.
Yeah, because they're used to Bill Belichick, who's a fucking robot.
Yeah, he is a robot, and they all start imitating Bill Belichick, and it never works out, and they get fired within like 1 or 2 years.
Yeah, I suppose you're right there. Well,
what next?
Haven't touched it. If not, we can kind of put an end to it pretty quick here. If nobody else has anything else to contribute. What are your predictions for this year's Super Bowl? Who's going to win?
I'm neutral with either, honestly.
Who do you think, though?
If I had to give out a prediction, I'd say like 30-27 Bengals.
Okay. Yeah, I'm shooting for the Bengals too.
Oh, I'm the only one that's going for the Rams.
Give a score though.
I think the Rams had an overall better season. However, I think whatever the Bengals have like sucked into their assholes for the playoff games, it's working.
Yeah,
So
Joe Burrow's never lost a playoff game ever.
yeah,
Even in college, in high school, he never lost a playoff game.
I think, yeah.
He's
I
clutch.
think Burrow could lead a good way. I think, if I had to guess, probably 30 something. I think 35 to 20, somewhere around the 20s, Bengals will win.
For the first time ever since I've started watching football, the only thing I'm excited for is the halftime show because that's gonna be bomb.
Yeah.
I forgot what they were
Yeah.
doing.
Oh my God. Okay. So
Halftime show,
in
Eminem.
Super Bowl 56, the halftime show was complete trash.
Yes, it
Oh,
was.
That
Yes.
was
Fuck
complete.
that.
That
Oh.
was garbage.
Travis,
Yeah.
At least we don't have to see Jackson Mahomes and Brittany what's her face in the Super Bowl.
what's wrong with them?
They're annoying.
Everybody's shitting all over them, but all they're doing is supporting.
No, they're annoying. They throw stuff on people.
No, I love them.
I hate them.
Why?
They're annoying.
There's no reason. That's not a reason.
They are annoying. They do. Jackson Mahomes in the TikTok dances.
Okay.
That game week 3 against
A lot of people,
against Washington
I
for
don't
the
know.
Kansas City Chiefs.
I think it's wonderful that they travel with Patrick and like go to every game and like support him 100%. Like I think it's great.
No, that's
Super Bowl
annoying because they do
56's
annoying things.
halftime show, though, was just the weekend, though. The camera just kept
Horrible.
following him around towards that first part.
That and
It's
Travis
like
Scott was-
you're imagining yourself in a mini mosh pit or something.
yeah. And then they brought on Travis Scott and it was just downhill from there.
Awful.
Fucking horrible.
Yeah. So I was at a party, okay, and everybody was just laughing at me because I was like, "That was garbage." I was in front of the TV just ranting about how terrible it was, and everybody was just cracking up and dying.
I can see that being a thing, yeah.
I wonder how good this one's gonna be.
You raging? Never. This one's gonna be
Yeah,
fucking lit.
never.
I was saying how good it is gonna be because it's
It
gonna
is.
be better than that one, obviously.
I mean, it doesn't take much to be better than that one. Let's talk about the Katy Perry one was pretty iconic because of Left Shark, but the
The
Jennifer,
Maroon 5 one was terrible.
the J-Lo and Shakira one was fantastic, I thought.
And they had us all hyped up that like they were gonna play Sweet Victory at the Super Bowl, but no,
They didn't.
the sicko mode.
Yeah.
False
That was-
advertising.
That was awful.
SpongeBob one, yeah.
That one
Hey,
stuck the
Fabian.
most.
Hey
Yeah.
Fabian, say false advertising looking ass.
False advertising looking ass.
You
Well, there y'all go.
Perfect.
Gotta be done.
gotta scream it. Do it again, but
No,
scream
don't make him scream now. We're in a podcast.
No.
Damn it.
Avoid.
Sorry, Nathan. Not happening. Unfortunately.
All right. Well, we can wrap up here. Thanks for listening. We're not experts in any way, clearly, because none of us really know what we're talking about, but it's been fun.
Except
We're
for
just
Colin
talking
Coward,
about
which he
whatever
thinks
we
he knows
feel like
everything, but he
sports
doesn't.
wise. So just using our imagination on sports.
Sometimes I feel that like some sportsy like shows and podcasts that people talk about it gets too ominous because they start talking about the same thing over and over again with the same players, and it's kind of just like snore fest sometimes. So
Looking
I'm
at you, Colin Coward.
What was that?
I've said looking at you, Colin Coward.
I am, yeah. But anyway, I think that's a wrap here.
Well,
Yeah,
say
I
goodnight,
think
everybody.
we've talked about everything. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a wrap. Thanks for listening. And if you didn't want to listen anyways.
Yeah,
And
you're
if you
being
don't want to
forced to
listen,
listen.
then
You're gonna stay right here and watch, and you're gonna watch
Yeah,
it
whether you
again
like
and
it or
again
not.
and again
Yeah.
Maybe
and
should
if you
have.
don't want to
again
listen, then you can just suck my tiny little balls.
Yeah.
What?
Oh.
What?
Wait a
What?
second. Wait a
I was
second.
making a South Park reference.
Oh.
Oh Jesus!
On that
Jeez.
note, peace out, Girl Scout.
All right.
See ya.
See ya, and good night, everybody.